Hello and welcome back to Smart Money Sundays. Going to go ahead and start off here on our typical pairs, Euro USD and GBP USD. Obviously, last week we talked about potentially the fact that we could see some further upside while maintaining our relative equal lows on the weekly time frame. As you can see, price never ran out this significantly old low on the weekly time frame. We've kind of left that intact for us to go ahead and run out eventually. Okay, so that's going to be the ultimate draw on liquidity, and price is simply giving us a retracement to sell premium back down into the lows, right? And so in looking at the weekly time frame, obviously this would be the first point of call, right? You can see the inefficiency being filled up, the nice weekly dragonfly doji stick, candlestick, all right, providing us that supply. All right, and so hopping down to the lower time frames, you can see that this is obviously our trading range. Lower high, lower low. All right, and so we are now operating in premium, which we prefer, coming into that 71. Okay, and so that 71 daily 50 EMA all kind of comes into alignment with the bottom of the supply. Now, that doesn't mean we could have a quick spike up into something like the 78.6 or even higher, right? We are bearish, really, until we take out these equal lows. Doesn't mean price can't, even trade higher into premium before that happens. All right, and so personally, I like this level. We just don't have confirmation yet on the lower time frames to tell us that this is going to be the high in the market, right? And so for me, I want to wait for price to either break down in structure, right, create a new lower low, and then that's confirmation for a pullback into premium to sell, or we could simply maintain the structure, high, low, high, maybe a low, and continue up higher, like I said. Okay, and so if that's the case, then our secondary point of call is going to be the supply here. Okay, in and around 1.088. Okay, you can see with the inefficiency within this wick where we ran liquidity here. All right, so by all means, price could easily trade up deeper into this structure before we see the sell-off. All right, so again, if price goes and breaks the structure, we should be good. All right, and then this high should be protected. Okay, but until we have a break of structure here on the lower time frames, all right, we're going to continue to expect that price might trade higher into this level. All right, and what gives me conviction behind the fact we could see more upside first on EU is that GU is yet to trade into our significant level, as you can see here on the 8-hour time frame. All right, so I'd like to see when GU gets up here, okay, coming into this candlestick here, this nice pause in the market, little reprice, grab some orders, continue. I'd like to see that accounted for, okay, and then we'll look for, where Euro USD is at when GU reaches this point. All right, and then ultimately we can sell down on GU as well. Okay, now we do have an efficiency up here as well. Okay, so that would be the secondary point of call. Okay, kind of like we have on EU. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, and then obviously downside objective has not changed yet. Whoops. We are still looking for this low here to be ultimately taken out. All right, trading back down into 1.1975. Okay, 1.1975 is the ultimate price point we'd like to see achieved to the downside on GBP USD. Okay. We'll hop on over to UJ, and obviously on my last Smart Money Sundays video, I called this level to the T absolutely perfectly. So congratulations if you caught this move down from the exact level that I gave to you guys for free last week, 300 pips. Okay, completely free. All you have to do is watch the video. Okay, this is week in, week out that we're calling these things before the moves happen on every Sunday for free. Okay, so make sure you take notes, mark these levels off on your charts, or else it's a waste of time. All right, so UJ, I do believe we can still see some more downside as this market is still overly extended to the upside, and we have distributed out in price. Okay, so obviously we want to see premium when we want to sell. Okay, so we want to sell in premium, we want to buy in discount. So for me, everything in here is relatively accounted for. Remember, this was our supply that I gave you last week. Now for me, we have this up close volume here that traded into the low here. As you can see, it traded nicely into supply, price spilled over. Right, so what I'd like to see coming into this week is we're engineering this descending liquidity here that I do believe we can get run out as price trades into this inefficiency here, okay, for another move lower. Okay, another move lower. Okay, this week's target is going to be 124,677. 124,677. Okay, this kind of running out this low here, coming into this old wick here. All right, that's going to be the intra-week target for UJ. So that's another 300, 400 pips for this week. Okay, very simple, very straightforward. Run the descending liquidity, trade into premium, follow the structure, follow the trend back down to the downside. GBP NZD. Another one I somewhat like. Okay, I do think that we could potentially pop off here from this little demand. All right, we have clean equal highs here prior to supply, this up close candlestick, sponsor candle. And so I think what we might see is, it looks like we're somewhat accumulating here. What we might see is a quick little spike down, maybe into the body of this candlestick, and then the run up to break a structure. You can take it. Okay, target's obviously going to be this draw on liquidity and this up close candle in the 1 hour time frame. From there, we could potentially look to ping pong it, sell it short, you know, on down into our little demand right here, all right, which ran out liquidity. Okay, very simple. Again, stuff is very, very simple. It's simply structure. It's principles of liquidity, okay, and it's time and price. All right, this is not rocket science, okay? So mark off this level. I do like it, but again, it's Sunday. Tomorrow's a bank holiday, so be careful, be patient with your trading. We're not going to see the volume that we're accustomed to, but I would like to see a sell to buy here. And then the break of structure, that should be confirmation, all right, to then go ahead and seek out the liquidity resting above these highs. All right, and the same essentially goes for, what was it, Euro AUD. Same deal here. Okay, we have the draw on liquidity with these engineered highs. Engineered meaning perfectly equal, the exact same price. Okay, the algorithms do that on purpose. This is going to be the draw on liquidity. Okay, so we can see the run here on the low, sell to buy, break of structure. You have your reverse fib, A into B into C, 78.6, negative 27. So I'd like to see something similar to GBP NZD. Okay, it looks like we're consolidating in price. Want to see that run lower, okay, into this candlestick, then the ultimate push higher. Right, with the understanding that this is our target. Okay, so if we don't get that and price decides to dig deeper, that's totally okay. Hop out to the higher time frames. Okay, ultimately, this is still our trading range, right? Low, high. Okay, so price could very well break down, break through, okay, and trade deeper into discount before the move up. Okay, but ultimately, this is still our target, right? So if we don't get what we want here, we'll get what we want down here, right? Because we have the conviction of the bias, okay, in the direction due to these engineered highs here. All right, so don't fret it if you lose a trade here. You got another one, more pips to catch here. All right, but GN and EA are essentially in alignment from my perspective. All right, and so the last two that I want to kind of touch upon today are going to be EuroCAD and CAD Swiss. All right, EuroCAD had a very, very clean, triple top here, high, 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 run out while trading into this old gap. Okay, I talk about this all the time. Old gaps, you often see sensitivity in price. Okay, sure enough, we trade through the highs into the old gap. We see sensitivity in price and we roll over, failing to break and close above this old high. Okay, we wicked through it here, but did not close above it. Okay, so for me, I believe now the objective is going to be running the sell side. All right, so let's go ahead and look to run the sell side. Obviously VIP, if you're in VIP, I sent out this level here on Friday, and we had a beautiful reaction from this level. All right, it's not to say we can't potentially run it one more time, buy to sell, okay, but ultimately I do believe the objective, now that we've run the buy side, the objective now is going to be running the sell side. All right, so look for excuses to sell EuroCAD this week. Okay, I'm giving you the bias. Okay, it's up to you to correlate that with time and price. Okay, so look for excuses to sell EuroCAD this week, targeting these equal lows, these perfectly equal lows. Okay, 3,400. 3,400 is the target. All right, and the last one for this episode is going to be CAD Swissy. I do very much so like this potential setup. Now, mind you, this is intraday structure here, okay, but we have the clean buy to sell, okay, the very clean buy to sell. You can see the reaction snap back down in price. This to me is very corrective in nature. All right, so look for excuses to sell this one. I know it's kind of somewhat contradictory to the EuroCAD bias, okay, but that's okay. All right, I'm just looking at what the chart is telling me. I'd like to see us trade down into this level here on CAD Chef. Okay, 73925 is the ultimate objective. All right, so we should be looking to sell, looking for excuses to sell CAD Swiss down into 73925. Okay, so this little horizontal ray here is simply kind of the 50% of this up close volume. All right, 50% of this up close volume, this candlestick here. Now, again, it doesn't mean we can't trade higher. We certainly can. That's why I'd like to see a reaction from this level breakdown, and then we'll take it short. Or you can place a limit here if you'd like, and if you're more of a risky trader. But it's not to say we can't run this high and trade into maybe something in here before we spill over. Okay, a quick spike up. Okay, we have to look at it from multiple perspectives, especially understanding time and price. If this thing hits this in Asian session, I'm not taking it. All right, it's CAD CHF. I want to see this happen in London or New York. Okay, but ultimately we have the bias, you have the direction. Look for excuses to sell CAD CHF down into 73925. All right. Very simple stuff. Again, I hope you mark these levels off. If not, rewatch it, mark them off, understand time and price. If you don't, you probably should watch our time and price videos on YouTube, or if you're interested in our advanced course, we have an in-depth video on time and price that really is the backbone of our smart money concept strategy. So if you're interested in that, we're also running a promo for Memorial Day, 25% off all products and services. So message us if you'd like to be a part of that. That means all courses, both of our EAs and VIP lifetime are all 25% off for a limited time only. Okay, so shoot us a message on Telegram at ArielFX Trading or on IG at Ariel__FX, and we'd be happy to get you involved with our community. All right, have a great week and safe trading.